It's still pretty early. I've just been out to do the chickens, so I'm looking pretty bedraggled because I've not long been out of bed. But those are the things that have to be done rather, kind of before you can really think on a morning. I like to, oh, there's a cat trying to go out the cat flap. I like to try and get all the necessities out the way before I've even had time for a cup of coffee or water or anything. So literally just get myself up and get myself ready, get out and get those morning chores done. Or like I need to put the fire on next, that runs our central heating, because it's quite chilly this morning. Sometimes I'll leave it till later in the day, it just depends at this time of year until how cold it is first thing in the morning. When it gets a lot colder, closer to the winter, then it will be banked up and left on all night, overnight. But at this time of year, it's not worth using that fuel to keep it on overnight because it's not that cold, but it's still cold enough that it's not comfortable at all. So yeah, I need to get myself sorted, get the fire on, get myself some coffee, and then basically get myself ready for the rest of the day. So this is early morning Mel, and how I look probably, I would say, 25% of the time. So as you might have noticed, I haven't been recording. I have been throwing things on the floor, but I haven't been recording properly for about a week. John is off work for the October school holidays. In Scotland, that is 2 weeks that they have off. In England, it's a week. I'm not entirely sure if they take time off stateside, but in the UK, October, there are school holidays. And with him being off work, I've been on holiday too. I am knitting at the moment. I should probably zoom this out just a moment. I'll move my camera back a little to see what I'm knitting on. I am knitting on my Halloween socks, and I am loving how the pattern is coming out on these so much. I have been spending a lot of time working on my carved pullover, which I have just separated for the sleeves last night. So I'm hoping that won't take too much longer to actually finish knitting. I will show you that in a moment. But I will show you this closer when I finish this row, otherwise I am likely to drop a stitch. So yeah, I haven't really been doing much at all. We don't often take time off, the pair of us. actual time off. So if John's on holiday or what have you, we tend to be busy all the time, and John has been quite busy. He doesn't know how to stop, so he's been doing renovation jobs and other things around the house too, and painting and things like that. But I have been taking the opportunity to have an actual break for a change. Yep, these are coming along really nicely. I'm loving the way this knit two together yarn over stripe spiral is working up in this yarn. If I move the needles across, I'd be able to put my hand in and stretch out the pattern a little, see if it shows up. You can still see it even when it's kind of would be on your foot, but it's not going to be uncomfortable, because the way it's done when it's on your foot, it just kind of stretches out, and it's not double thickness, it's as such, it's just kind of squishes flat. And I love this yarn. This is my skein that I bought from Fiberpunk at Perth Festival of Yarn, which I'm going to struggle to show on camera today because the light in here is rubbish, because it is in the middle of the afternoon. But yeah, that's coming on great. I haven't been working a lot on this because I really wanted to get the yoke finish on the sweater, and that you can see I have done quite a lot. You can see the jack-o'-lantern face there on the front, and if I try and stretch this out a little bit without pulling it off the needles, you can see I am almost finished on the mouth on the front, and I think I slightly raised where the lace design is on the pattern, because for my size, well, I didn't want the eyes to basically be in the middle of the ladies, shall we say, so I wanted those higher up, so the mouth actually finishes sort of about here rather than the eyes being here and like it all being on my belly, and drawing attention to that area, which is not my favourite part, I have to say. So yeah, it's coming along. Separated for the sleeves, and what I will do is I have just started another ball of yarn, so I will finish the lace pattern and then finish the vast majority of this ball of yarn, and then I will put needle stop ends on the cable and likely put it on a longer cable as well, so that I can try it on, and then I will start knitting the sleeves. And when I've knit the sleeves, I can try on the sweater completely and decide then what sort of length I want to have, also bearing in mind that this yarn tends to grow in length, so I've got to be careful of that too. I've knitted I knitted at a denser gauge than I did my arboreal sweater, which is finished and blocked and ready to show on the podcast. I nearly wore it yesterday. I do prefer to kind of hang fire until I've recorded, so it's like it looks like nice and new and hasn't started, garments haven't started to like bobble and things like that. There have been exceptions when there have been like large gaps in between recording, where I've actually wore an item or wore a pair of socks, and then I obviously washed said socks before showing them on the podcast. But yeah, that's the state of my knitting at present, and that's the state of kind of life at present. We've let me bring you in a little bit more. I am feeling a lot more human, I have to say, today, after having had so much rest time recently. It has been great. I have done as little as possible. I have done the necessities, you know, like cooking dinner, and I've made cookies and things like that, but they've kind of been last minute decisions and kind of a bit haphazard, but they've been done, and I've done the basics kind of around the house, housekeeping wise, work-wise as well, which is really bad of me. I need to do more on Instagram, but I've just needed the rest really, and I have enjoyed it. I have loafed around, which must be, I don't know, I haven't loafed around since probably the beginning of the first lockdown in 2020, so it's been very much needed. And I have played on computer games, and I've knit, and I've watched YouTube, and maybe done a bit of planning as to what to do in the future. Other than that, not a lot.